Welcome to this video. In this video, I will show you how to create a pie chart from data in RGuroo. As soon as you log into RGuroo, this is the screen that should appear. On the left-hand side, you have an accordion menu, which is what we will be using. We want to generate a graph, so we're going to click on Plots. Then we click on Create Plot. So these are all the different options we have, so I'm going to select Pie Chart. Now notice I don't have any data set open, but it doesn't matter because I can select a data set anyhow. So the data set that I'm going to select is called Unit 2 RGuroo Practice Dataset. So I strongly recommend pausing this video and opening this data set as well. You should have access to it so that you can follow along. So let's make our screen a little bit bigger here so we can see it a little bit better. And let's look at our options. So we just told RGuroo what data set we want to use. So now we have to tell it what factor we want to graph. And notice that there's only one option in our drop-down menu, even if I open this data set, there are two columns of data. So just so you can see the data set, let's open this data set. Again, that's not necessary, but I'm going to click on data, and then I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to open the data set. Okay, so we have the favorite color and we have number of siblings. Those are the two data columns here. But again, when I go to plots, create plot, and I select pie chart, it's only giving me one of those options. Sorry, I have to select the data set again. It's only giving me one option, which is the favorite color. So how come it doesn't see the other data, the other variable? Well, the reason is because that it's filtering for categorical or qualitative data. So again, if you go back here to the data set, here's my data set, we can see that this is qualitative or categorical data, this is quantitative data. So if you make a pie chart, you must use categorical data. So let's go ahead and make our pie chart. I'll stop changing the subject here. So I already selected favorite color. So let's go ahead and hit this eyeball and see what we get. So I'll zoom out a little bit so we can see it all at once. So let's look at it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors. It's unfortunate because the color that it's saying, for example, this says red, but it's shading it blue. And you could probably go back and strong arm it into being different colors. But ignoring that slight confusion, let's just analyze it. So notice we have this key or legend over here, right? And it has a list of the colors and they're in descending order of frequency. So you can see the red is the most prevalent. 44% of people said that was their favorite color. 20% of people said that blue was their favorite color. 16% of people said green was their favorite color. We got lucky there, and green was green. 8% was purple. Again, purple is purple, so that's nice. And yellow, sort of this light green color, is 12%. So I guess it's not actually in descending order, because if it was in descending order, the yellow would have been above the purple. So I'm not sure exactly what order they're putting these in. So you can also see over here that in addition to having the color, that this is blue and this is blue, they're also labeled on the pie chart itself, which is really convenient because if a person were to print this on a black and white printer, right, like in grayscale, then following that legend might be very difficult. So it's good to have redundancy built in there. So it's always good when you're learning new software to go around and poke around and explore some different options. So let's look at value labels. We could have percent or value or none. So let's see what happens if I hit percent and then hit this button again. So again, the contrast is somewhat lacking, but basically it's superimposing the percents on top of the words in the pie chart itself. So that's what it's doing. And you can see if I go back to the menu here and I click on value, then instead of putting the percents in there, it would give me the actual number. So again, 10 people out of 50 preferred blue. We can further explore this menu. We can come down here and we can type in the title. So the default title of this thing says pie chart of favorite color. So anytime you're titling the variable in the data set, you can't have spaces there. So let's say this was, I don't know, for a project that was really important to me and I wanted to look really nice and amazing. So I'm going to type in the title as pie chart of favorite color, and I'm going to just, type it out so that it doesn't look like that. So I can do that. So it can write over the default setting. Okay, so again, it's just valuable to go around here and look at the different options and learn how to use the pie chart, all the features that the software is offering you. Okay, So the other thing I wanted to talk about, remember I said in this drop-down menu, it's only giving you the option of graphing favorite color because it doesn't perceive that the other column, it doesn't believe that this other column, the number of siblings, is qualitative or categorical, because it isn't, right? They're numbers. But there's this really cool feature where you could strong arm, you can force RGuroo to perceive this as a label. So the way you do that is you come up here, and so there's some little icons. So you have a fill in the blank, and then right to the right of that, there's this button right here, and if you hover over it, it says variable properties. So let's click on that. So I'm going to click on variable properties, and notice the two variables come up. It says favorite color and number of siblings. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, on the number of siblings, I'm going to tell it that this is going to be nominal data. Okay, so I'm going to force it, I'm going to strong arm it into believing that it is categorical even though it's not. So let's go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to close this menu. And then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to save the data set, and I have to close out of the pie chart that I had before. So let's close out of that. So then I have to generate a new option. So I'm going to click on pie chart again, so to create a new one. And so once again, I have to select that data set that I was using, which is the Unit 2 practice data set. And then the factor I'm going to select is siblings. And then notice when I do that, now I have this pie chart. So you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and again, I can do this because I'm asking RGuroo to treat these values as categorical or as a label rather than a measurement.